Hey everyone, welcome back. Crosstown Gamer here, and today we're going to continue our playthrough of Colonial Twilight, which is number 7 in the coin series. And we are playing as the government faction against the FLN bots, if you recall. This is the state of the map. As it happens, we just ran up against our first propaganda card, and so I will be taking you through how to do the propaganda card with well, just in general, and then also with the AI, because they have some special stuff going on. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. So normally in a propaganda card, it's got kind of a list here of what's going to happen, but this is not very helpful unless you're extremely intimately familiar with the game mechanics and what each of these phases are. But it does have a little, phase reminder of where you're at. The thing you actually want to look at, you can look in the rules as well, but the propaganda card on the sequence of play chart is a lot more helpful. Each of those phases is split up into multiple sub phases and things. So we're going to go through all of this today. And for the FLN bot, on the back of this, the flowchart that we've been using this whole time, we have the random map, generator for if there's too many choices and we don't want to just go, this is a 1, 2, and 3, this is a 4, 5, and 6 kind of a thing. You can roll dice and move along this track here. But near the top, there's a little procedure chart here for the FLN propaganda round procedures. And so the only thing it's going to really make a difference on is the support phase and the redeploy phase. And then there's an option for if it's the final, propaganda, one player game ends at this time. But we don't have to worry about that because this isn't the final propaganda card. So in the support phase and redeploy phase, we're going to take a look at this. But otherwise, let's just get right on into it. So victory phase is first, 6.1 in the rulebook, and we are going to check if anyone's met the victory conditions, which nobody has. I think it's like 35 or something. We're both way down on the track. Neither of us are really in contention for victory at this point in the game, so we would just move right along. Then we do the resources and commitment phase. So it gives you a note here that there's a maximum of 50 resources. That's how high the track goes around the outside of the board. And the government resources are going to add first the commitment level, which the commitment level is at 15. So we will add in 15 plus our 1, bringing us to 16. Then next, for each sector with government control and at least one government base, we do the population value of that sector. So it is talking specifically about the sectors. So I believe the cities don't count for that. There's no bases in there anyway. But we've got a base here, a government base here, and government control. We've got a government base here, government control, government base here, government control. So there's 3 of those. Government control and at least one base. So we get the pop value of each of those sectors. We get a 2, a 2, and a 2. So 6 more, bringing us to 22. All right. Then add the number of French pieces in the available box. Except for if Recall de Gaulle event is in effect. So we're not going to do that if Recall de Gaulle is in effect, which it is. That's over here. Oh, thank God, though, we hit the propaganda phase so we can get rid of this peace talks card. I'm tired of it. I'm ready to do some damage. Okay. So then we add total support only if Recall de Gaulle is in effect. Total support is what, 2? It's only 2, I think, because our commitment is 14 and support plus commitment is 16. We just have 2 there, so that is a little unfortunate. I would have much rather added in the... Oh, I guess there's no real French pieces in there anyway, so this is a better deal for us still. Okay, then we're going to add in the total... Oh, no, we did that. We're going to subtract the number of resettled sectors, and there's 3 of those. It's hidden underneath the FLN's resource marker, but you can also just quickly check on the map. There's 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. It's the ones with these pop 0 resettled markers. So we're going to subtract 3 from their total here, bringing us to 21. Ooh, I'm trying to remember what we started with initially. I think it was 20, so I guess we're doing about, the same as at the start of the map, or start of the game. Okay, that was our resources. Then we are going to add the number for the FLN, the number of FLN bases on the map, which is currently 6. So we're going to add 6 plus the resource number from the box on the France track. So plus 6 resources brings them up to 12. Oh god, they're going to have a ton of resources, huh? And subtract the border status number, which is 3. So 12 minus 3 is 9. Just making sure that's all it is. Yep. 6 plus 6 minus 3. 9. And they're at 3, so they go up to 12. I guess it's not as bad as I thought. I think they started at 10 or maybe 15. Let's see. Then the commitment. So we move any French pieces from out of play to available. There aren't any French pieces in out of play. Subtract commitment. The third of the total of French pieces moved round up. So 0, a third of 0 is 0. So we don't subtract any commitment from that. Next, we're going to move any French pieces from available to out of play. And add commitment. Okay, it says pieces. And do bases count for that? Because the only French piece we have there is a base. I don't think the base goes out of play, does it? I'm going to have to look this up. It just doesn't make sense to me, but I know it says pieces, and you're trying to be as literal as possible here. From available to out of play, and add commitment. A third of total rounded down, so a third of 1 is a third, and round down is going to be 0, so we're not going to get any commitment anyway. Then we're going to subtract, so I'll look that up in just a second. We're going to subtract a third of the French pieces in casualties box. There are 0 in there. Oh, not if recall de Gaulle is in effect. So it doesn't matter anyway. And then we're going to subtract commitment, the number of the box in the France track. Okay, words. So we're going to do minus 3 commitment, bringing us down to 12. That does suck. And then this moves as well. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so I can see I wasn't sure how the resources would shake out. I thought, like, this is a balance. We're going to get resources and subtract commitment. Oh, well, no big deal. But it's actually, we lose the commitment and the resources went to the FLN. So that's just me not being super familiar with, like having not played Colonial Twilight a whole bunch in the past. So I wasn't sure how this propaganda was going to shake out. Right. So let me look at the bases if they go to out of play really quick, and then I'll get right back and we can jump into the support phase. Okay, so in the sheet here, it's move any French pieces. But in the actual text of the rules, move any number of French pieces. Move any number of French pieces. So this is a choice for us. We can move them from out of play to available. Say we had a whole bunch of fringe pieces in here, and it's like, well, they're not helping us when they're out of play. We need to get them onto the map and onto the board. We can move them to available at the cost of commitment. And then later on, or, we have the option to, I guess, in addition, do that in reverse. Say, we got it pretty much on lockdown. We just need a little bit more commitment. We can move pieces that we're not using over to out of play. So I think it doesn't specify in the text of the rules that whether they're bases or not. So you can do bases if you'd like, because they classify as pieces. So we don't need to do that. We don't need to move anything around, because even if we move that base to out of play, we wouldn't get any resources anyway. So no real sense in doing that. Let's move along to support phase. Okay, now this one's a little bit different. It's the redeploy phase. I was looking at this a little bit earlier, and the redeploy is a little bit different than a lot of other coin games, and I'll explain that when we get there. Government may pacify in any spaces with government control and police and troops. So every 2 resources spent removes a terror marker, or shifts 1 level towards support once the terror marker's been removed. So we need all 3: government control, police, and troops. And it doesn't matter if they're French or Algerian police and troops. It just says police and troops. So either one counts. Let's take a look first where that's even eligible to occur. We've got control, police, and troops here. That's a pretty good spot. Over here as well. I guess down here. I think a lot of our spots are prime candidates for this. There. The only difference here, or the only problem with these, is that since they have terror markers, it's going to cost resources to remove it first, and then resources to shift it. So it's going to cost us 4 resources for this spot, for example, which isn't necessarily the end of the world. I mean, it's a balance. So we need to have resources to be able to do stuff during the course of play. But at the same time, the way to win is commitment and support. And so I'd like to get the cities back under control. We're sort of out of luck here, but none of these areas have any troops. So even though there's government control, well, it's 0 population anyway, but even though this is government control, it doesn't have troops and police. It just has the police there. So we can't do that kind of shift there. I can't remember. Are these guys supposed to be here? Because if so... Oh my god, where do those guys come from? Well, okay. Yeah. I need to go back to my last video and just make sure nothing got shifted around too much. I don't remember that happening. This is what happens when you take a few days in between recording. So I need to be better about getting the content out to you guys. Anyway, so we can't do it there anyway, but it doesn't matter because there's support. So let's see. If we were to do everything we possibly could, how much support could we do? And we cannot spend more resources than the current commitment level. Yes, so the current commitment level is at 12. So we can spend a total of 12 resources if we wanted to do this. So it'd be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. I think if we, excuse me, if we did it everywhere that we could, it would cost 18. So we need to prioritize a little bit. And we should be prioritizing high population areas and to get the most bang for your buck, and places without terror. So unfortunately, this is the highest one, but it also has the terror. So let's see what we can do without doing that. If we like, this is a great location because it's 2 points, only needs 1 shift, so it's 2 resources to do that. I think this is what we're gonna do, but anywhere else would require 2 shifts, you know, from opposition to neutral and then neutral to support. This one would only require 1 shift, but it has the terror marker. So, you know, it's 4 resources, 4 resources, 4 resources, 4 resources, and then only 2 there. So we're going to do it at least here. And then since everything else is equal, we should do it in the city and get control of the city back, or support of the city back, because it's the most points. And that would be, so 4 plus 2 is 6. I think we could do it in 1 more location. I'm willing to spend up to 10. And so then let's look at what the FLN are capable of doing. They can agitate where they are FLN pieces and no government control. Okay. So they can't undo anything because they have opposition somewhere, or like, yeah. So, in any case, let's start doing this here. So we know we're going to go here. There's 2 resources for that. And so, and we know we're going to go here. So 2 resources for this, 2 resources for the shift. And that will be, so 4 resources total. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, and we have increased support by 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's, we're not changing the commit value. We're only changing this value. So plus 5 brings us to 19. And then 1 more location. Where is going to be best for this? And I don't know if it makes a difference where it's like really hotly contested, or like we have a base in all of the potential spots already for, so where to go? Does it matter? I think it should be in a spot that we have a pretty good hold on, and that way we can, yeah, like here, we can do this. We can take care of this last gorilla. I don't think he's gonna have much power to influence things again. Alternatively, I guess we could do it here because we know they won't activate this last guy because it'll unprotect their base. So I think it might be safer to do it here. Let's do it here. So my reasoning again is, here they have no, like, this is going to get flipped underground anyway, so it won't matter to do it here. But when they're doing their operations and they might do a terror op, they don't care about activating the last gorilla here to do the terror again in this location. So it might go back to this state here where it's terror and neutral easier than this location, because even though this has more pieces for FLN, if they activate this gorilla, it's the last one protecting this base. So then they do not want to lose bases like at all costs. So we could, if they did that, if they did a terror here, we could salt and take out their base and their gorilla there, which is what they don't want. So I think that's going to be the location we want to do. They're less incentivized to do terror op in this location. So there's no terror here already, so this will just cost 2 plus another 2 to flip it there. So 4 more resources. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we've spent 10. And then this goes up by 2. And the opposition goes down by 2. Because we flipped that one from opposition to support. So yeah, I think that was solid. I'm comfortable spending the 10 there. I know that it leaves us a little bit high and dry. We don't have a ton of resources left to make anything happen this go around, this campaign. But I'm hoping maybe some cards will give us some resources, or we're just hoping for the best here. Okay, that was our support phase, and now the FLN. They may agitate in any spaces, so this is the opposite of what we just did. FLN pieces and no government control. Every one resource spent, yeah. So it's the same. It just costs them one resource, though, to do. Let's see if they have any locations where they can even do this. They can't do it. They have to do it in Algeria. They cannot do it in Tunisia or Morocco. So they need no government control, and they need FLN pieces, right? FLN pieces, no government control. So they could do it here, because they have FLN piece, no government control. Here. Yeah, they've got some options. They can't do it here because it's already at opposition. I guess they can't do it here. It's already at opposition. They can do it up there. They're going to do it up there. I don't know about that. And down here, it's a 0 population spot. They're not going to do that there. So I guess that leaves this location and this location and this location. So 3 spots. And let's check now what the FLN does in their chart. So in spaces with no government control and FLN pieces, agitate up to 2/3 of resources for all resources if this is final propaganda, which is not. So only 2/3. Remove terror only if a shift will be achieved. So they're going to agitate everywhere possible for the greatest shift at support where fewest terror. Okay, so 2/3 of their resources, they have 12 resources right now, so 2/3 of that is 8. They can agitate for up to 8 times, or 8 shifts levels. So this would be 1, 2 shifts. This would be 3, 4 shifts, and then this one would be 5, 6. So they can do it everywhere, and they will do it everywhere that they possibly can. Oh boy. Okay, so it's going to cost 6 resources. We just counted it out. I think I'm just double checking that that's everywhere possible, and I think it is. Because they can't do it like here because it's already at opposition. It wouldn't do anything. Okay, cool. So 6 resources, bringing them down to 6. And then they're going to be able to flip this. And so we lose 2 points. They gain 2 points. So we lose the 2. They gain the 2. Then here, they're going to add a new marker. And that gives them a point. No, 2 points. Population's 2. Oh, I think it only costs 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it should only be 5. I miscounted. Yeah, 2 for this one. Only 1 for this. There's no terror there to remove. And then lastly here, 4, and then a 5 to make this opposition. And that gives them another 2 points. Whoops, we're tied. Don't like that, because it means we're losing. Because the tie, I think, would go to them anyway, but I think they need fewer points than we do. Just double checking the conditions. Yeah, they just need 30 to exceed 30, and we need to exceed 35. So when we're tied in points, that means we're actually behind. All right, that was the support phase. Now we go on to the redeploy. The redeploy phase in other coin games, to me, is the hardest thing to wrap my head around because of this next bullet point. Usually it's like the government must move any blah, 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 and then may move any other stuff. Two spaces from space. It's a hard to read sentence, but this one, it just says, may move troops. Any police on the map may move. So we get to decide. It's not like something has to happen. So if we did nothing at all, we would technically be playing by the rules, which takes a lot of the pressure off, I think. Okay, so we can move any troops on the map to any cities or spaces with friendly bases. So where are our troops? We've got some troops, a lot of troops here. I know we wanted to do that because I think I'm trying to remember the conversion rate for the assaulting. We wanted to make sure to be able to take out everything there. We could move a troop from here now that this is cleared out. Maybe move it up to the city so that way we could get control at least in this city. And we could also move something from here. I think we were trying to do something over here as well. There aren't a lot of other available troops. I guess we could take one from here too and move it to a different city or a different place with a base. So yeah, let's take one from here and we'll take one from here and we will move them into this city here. That way we'll get control and hopefully we'll be able to knock them out and then pacify. Okay, that's all we want to do there. It says any police on the map, we're right here now, any police on the map may move to any government-controlled spaces. Okay, so here we can sort of shuffle our police around. I don't see too much value being added to having control down here where there's 0 population. Maybe that's foolish. I kind of like having everything spread out so that way it's like if you need... yeah, I think we're doing okay. Maybe we need to get... This should be uncontrolled. Ugh, man, I should have taken a look at this map before we started so that I could make these minor adjustments. That should be uncontrolled because there's 1 and 1. Let's take a police. Where are we taking it from? Oh, yeah, I guess we should have moved a bunch of guys in there. We need 3 in there, and we need 1 here. Let's do this. It's going to be uncontrolled, but we're going to take a guy from here, take a guy from here, take a guy from here, and we're going to move them up so that we get control. And so these are no longer controlled. I know we're trading 3 in for 1, but that one has population and the other ones don't. And then we're going to do this guy here and move him over to Orleansville, and so that we get control of that. This way, all the populated areas, I think we have Oh, well, we could do it there too. We could move. Let's do it. Time will tell if this is foolish. I just want at least control to give us flexibility when we're doing operations. And hopefully limit the FLN player. Okay. FLN may move guerrillas from any spaces to any spaces with friendly bases within the same Walaya. Okay. So where are their bases here? They have a base here and a base here. So in this Walaya, they can move any pieces they want into this space because this has a friendly base. This is the Walaya here, so they can move pieces from here into here if they want. Similarly, over here, they can move the city counts, so they could move this piece into here because they have a friendly base there. Since Tunisia and Morocco are outside, they're in their own spots, they can't move pieces into Tunisia or Morocco, it looks like, from the way this is worded. And now adjust all control. We've been doing it as we go along. Whoops. Government first, adjust control only after completing these redeployments. That is typical of coin games. I don't know why I forgot to do that. So I don't think it's actually affected anything so far. But whatever. So next time, I'll just make sure not to adjust control until we're done. So let's see what the procedures say for this phase. Among all spaces with FLN bases in the current Walaya, or if the cross-Walaya redeployment capability is in effect, then a cross-Walaya is. Well, it's not. So they need to get at least pop +1 worth of guerrillas to each FLN base, but no more than 3. Oh, so they actually do want to do this. And then they want to spread guerrillas within Algeria as evenly as possible within the above limitations. So they want to get 2 + 1 is 3 into here. So they can do that like this. And now they have 4, we have more than that, so government control is still there, but now they're protecting the base. Ooh, so now the whole reason we did the support shift here versus somewhere else was for this exact reason. Anyway, doesn't matter. Then here they want 2 + 1 is 3, so they will actually move this one into there. And then they want to spread out as evenly as possible. That would be in, after they've met that first qualification, so like down here and stuff, but they can't actually move this anywhere because there are no friendly bases. So nope. So they are done with their redeploy. And now we adjust the control, which we already did. Whoops. And yes, we still have control of this. There's plenty in there. Reset phase. Okay, this should be pretty straightforward. A third of the French pieces in the casualties box out of play, and then a third of the guerrillas in the casualties box to out of play. Put all other casualties in the available box. So a third rounded down. And there are only 2 in there. So a third of 2 is 2/3. Rounded down is 0. So these get to go, instead of going out of play, they go straight to available. And the French pieces we don't have to worry about. Move France and border zone 1 box each towards A and 0 respectively. So move this towards A and move this towards 0. Then we remove 1 terror marker from each space. Oh, that's interesting. In every other coin game that I've played, it's remove all the terror from each space. So if we had stacked a bunch of terror everywhere, like if we had 4 terror markers here, then we would only be removing one of them. So I think there's only the one now. Yeah. So we removed all the terror anyway. We flip all gorillas underground. Let's do that. Most of the gorillas are active right now. Okay, that should be all of them. Then discard any momentum cards. Woohoo! This one we discard. I think that's the only one. These are pivotal events that are out there. Set FLN cylinder to be first eligible and then play the next card. So FLN is first eligible anyway, and then we're going to play the next card. So I think I'm going to stop it after this remark here. So we won't be playing the next card, but we'll at least see what it is. So it's going to be SAS. This is a government capability, which would allow us to pacify in up to 2 spaces instead of 1. Ooh. That sounds pretty good, though we don't have a ton of resources to be able to actually do much. So who knows if we'll take this or we'll end up doing stuff on the map. And maybe the FLN is going to take this anyway and steal it from us. So we can't get too far ahead of ourselves. So that was a propaganda card. It's actually, I don't think I made any glaring mistakes with the rules. But I do think that this is a slightly more streamlined experience than the other coin games where you have to worry about every single faction, doing their redeploys and their stuff. So I think this was a little bit easier, and which makes it fun. It makes you get right back into the action a little quicker. I like that. Anyway, so that was the propaganda card. As we can see, we still got plenty of game left to play, and hopefully we can get the next video out a little more in a little more of an expedited fashion than what we have been doing. And we will see you guys next time. This has been Colonial Twilight, and I'm Crosstown Gamer. See you next time.